Hey guys, Brad here, welcome to another video, and today we're doing another speed build in Sims 4, and I got inspired from an image which I saw on Pinterest and Instagram like a lot. A lot kept showing up, and I might even like show a picture of it briefly, but anyway, so it has this, so it's a bit like of a cantilever home. But what I really liked about it, more than anything, was like these steel beams which it had, which went like diagonal across the wall. However, I've searched literally everywhere, like online, for like Sims 4 CC, which was like in keeping with that. But like, I couldn't find anything. So what I sort of settled for, well, what I did was I just searched like mods for like steel beams, and there were a few steel beams which you could find, but they didn't really work that well when I put them on a 45-degree angle with the tool mod, because this is my first time using that. So what I found, and unfortunately I had to go on the Sims resource to find this, but I found something from Buff Sims, I think it is, which is sort of this small wall, well, not wall object, it connects to the ceiling, right? And when I scaled it up, because it was already like hovering in the air, it scaled up very tall. And this is a problem because I can't really settle this to floor height. No, at least the height of the build I want. So what I did was I figured if I use the tool mod, I can elevate things in a negative direction, which just means downwards. So I tried that and it seems to have actually worked. So I'm also using these windows which are from the bathroom set, if you know what CC that is. So here we go, you can see me using the tool mod for the first time. And yeah, what I did here was very simple use of it. You can do a lot more complexity to your builds thanks to this mod. And you'll be glad to know this house is fully functional because I player tested it. And yeah, the other point is, because if you weren't using like custom content, like let's say you're using like a base game shelf and you're putting on a different angle or elevation which the game normally doesn't allow, then if you like save that room or build to the gallery, it will still show up that way, like the way that you put it, which is really good. So you could just in theory create some furniture sets with this, save them to your gallery, and then place the rooms or whatnot whenever you want to, like if it was like debug, because like as soon as you move these objects, right, they go back to their original state, which is a bit unfortunate. So it's like if I click, like if I wanted to drag one of these window pieces one along, it would bring it back to being like how tall it was before, which is a bit unfortunate. Yeah, so this build was a bit of a hassle, but it did let me learn something new, which is quite nice. And I actually learned two things new from this. So I see that people do these staircases quite often, where it's like more gradual than like normal stairs. And because of the terrain I was doing in this build, I thought, ooh, I should have more of a subtle staircase. And I think the image I was inspired from also had this sort of thing going on. So I ended up going with like a wooden one. So yeah, so the build itself ends up being quite lush on the exterior and some plants on the interior. Got some browns, blacks, whites, and then some red brick in this build actually, which I quite like. And it quite reminds me of The Glass House by Philip Johnson, if you know who that is. He was an architect in America, I can't remember exactly where. However, he designed this like rectangular house, which was like fully glass, and then it had a bathroom which was like an oval brick shape. And in this build I also go with like a bricked off bathroom. So yeah, the way that I end up doing the floor plan is, I mean, I can talk about it more when we actually get to that point. Get a bit of ahead of ourselves here, but we just skipped ahead in the video, and you see how we've, well, like, I added all these rocks, all these bushes, and honestly, I think it took me like 2 hours to do like all the rocks and landscaping pieces. I have an accent piece of like lavender bushes because I quite like the colour of them, and yeah, it did take a while. And here's something else which I'm doing, which I don't, well, like, I do often put roof details like this on many of my builds. However, I don't normally have them as that small. So the idea is that there's just roof vents, which I would imagine you would need quite a few vents for this build, considering there's no openable windows. And yeah, so now in the floor plan here, you can see I went with an L-shaped sofa because I wanted to perfectly like have it in line with where the metal crosses, because I think that just looks like a nice focal point. And then likewise with the television, I've done the same there. Like, I really quite like the way that it frames in the areas. So yeah, just going with the colours here, it did take me a few minutes just figure them out. However, I do just go with a nearly monochromatic look, and in keeping with my industrial feel and style, I go with just a concrete flooring in the game. And then yeah, concrete flooring, I can't remember the name of it, it's a base game one, I just love it to death. And yeah, so placing in plug sockets, I wanted to place down light switches, but I couldn't really find a good place to put them. So that's how detailed I think, right? I placed on light switches in my build sometimes, like that level of detail and commitment. Anyway, so putting in some indoor plants here, as you can see. And yeah, I generally do like putting plants in my builds, but the overall colour palette of this is, like I said, more monochromatic. But then you have the red of the red brick, and then there's even a few purple accents. Well, I say a few, I mean like 2 lamps are purple. Anyway, here we're going into the kitchen, which is the kitchen stuff pack. So I mean, if you have all of like HeyHarrie's custom content, you're basically gonna have a lot of this build. The other creators I can see are RightHearted for the plug sockets, Peacemaker for the television stand, and Buff Sims for the industrial like crosses and stuff, like which I was mentioning a lot. And yeah, IllogicalSimmer has a big one as well. So there are the sort of artists which I go with and have a lot of. So like, I'm sorry if it's not like the most like favoured like CC which I'm using sometimes. It's because like I can find, like, I will look for this build in particular, I looked kind of far for what I wanted to go with the style. However, that involved like not going with a conventional like CC creator which I would normally like go for. Because I would say there's like a few like CC creators who like everyone has like everything from them. So like Musk is a good one because they have like all the windows in the world which you would need, apart from the windows I wanted. I don't know if it does exist, what I was actually looking for. These industrial beamed cross windows. Like, I hope so, but I couldn't find anything. And here's something I like to do is just an interior design tip here for your Sims builds. Don't like place the seats on angles next to wherever you want the Sims to be sitting, because it is still usable. Like, the Sim will sit there, but they will like hold up their plate to eat it, and I think it's fine anyway, because I think 9 times out of 10 they're just going to use the dining table. And yeah, so the way I sectioned off this build for the floor plan was like, so you sort of have 2 hallways, because I didn't want to block off, you know, the light, because this place would get very hot in the summer, let's face it. And yeah, so you see like the bed here is sort of like floating, not floating, but like it's like midway in the room is what I'm trying to say, with the brick on the back of it. And then behind that brick is these shallow cabinets, which is sort of meant to mimic, what do you call them, like sort of wardrobe, sort of dresser, sort of storage. And I put a planter mirror there so your Sims can actually sort of use it to get like dressed or whatnot. And then behind that is the bathroom, which is covered by brick as well, but I cut out that footage because bathrooms aren't particularly interesting, and I wanted to keep this video a bit on the shorter side because it is a small build, so you know, keep it on the short side. So, and then some artwork here, just some details. And yeah, we're not too far off the end now, but I hope you kind of have enjoyed this video and like the madness I kind of had to go through just to make things function and work. But I do really like the outcome of this. So if you do want to download this, like if you do have all the CC, then my gallery ID is builderbrad64, and yeah, all my builds are uploaded there. So if you want to do that, if you want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram, the links will be below. And yeah, if you have any feedback, leave it down below. And anyway, I'm just gonna cut this off, yeah, because the screenshots are upcoming. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.